Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, my name is Victoria and today we're going to talk about full moon in Gemini. It's coming up on November 27th. As always, we're going to be looking at how this lunation event impacts twin flames, each of the twin collectives, and how does it impact the dynamic, the union, the connection, what's coming up for the twins at this time. And Gemini, as you know, is the energy of communication. It's guarded by Mercury. So this is full moon, on the other hand, is the energy that brings to the surface certain things that were suppressed, oppressed, ignored, unacknowledged before, right? A lot of times our behavior is driven by those factors, by those traumas inside, by those fears, but it doesn't mean that we necessarily acknowledge it. And even if I ask you to think about it and acknowledge it, there's a good chance you won't be able to, because it does take conscious, specific work to get into those depths, right? That's why it's called subconscious, and that's how our brain works. It takes a lot of pain and suffering into subconscious level to prevent us from suffering and from being in pain, right? This is one of the defense mechanisms of our psyche. In a similar way as the fight or flight responses will turn on if something similar is hitting your space again, right? Like your psyche is not necessarily gonna give you all the memories of like, why is it painful? It's not going to explain to you why you're being defensive in this case, right? It's a very straightforward program that will just take you into the fight or flight response, right? And you may not even know why. And then, you're talking to your loved ones and they're like, well, why did you get so aggressive about this? Or why do you keep avoiding this topic? And you have no idea, right? The full moon is really, really helping bring these topics to the surface, especially those topics that have to do with communication with other people, how open you are, how sincere you are in those, how kind you are in those. That was a little preview, maybe a reminder for those who are aware, who are interested in astronomy and astrology. So it's just a brief reminder about that. And now let's get on with the reading. I will do a separate reading on my other channel, Mindful Bamboo. I'll pull cards for each of the zodiac signs. So if you're interested to know a little bit extra, a little bit more specific to the sign that you are or your twin flame is, then head over that channel. If it's not published yet, it will be published very, very soon. And I will do more of an explanation of what that energy is all about. Okay, let's dive in. And the oracle deck that I picked for today is Alice the Wonderland. I feel like, it's a little of like the Alice in Wonderland general theme is a little kooky, is a little out of this world. There's a little of that, not a little, a lot. It's a lot about that subconscious coming to the surface. And I saw it and I was like, yes, that's what I want for the full moon in Gemini. So let's see what kind of theme is coming up for the feminine collective at this time, for divine feminines. Let's see. And then, of course, I have my Dream Keepers Tarot that I'm staying loyal to, and I love the deck so much. It is very dreamy, and so again, I love it for the lunation events because it's a lot more like, if you think about your dreams, usually they don't come in a straightforward way. They are using metaphors, they're using symbolism to tell you a story, right? So it's very similar to how our subconscious operates. Well, I mean, that's what it is really, right? Subconscious telling you stories. So for the feminines, the card is Impossible Things, number 34. Look how it matches my background. Beautiful. I am gonna change it soon, by the way. I'll do a little bit of a remodel of my setting with some Christmas decor, and I'll definitely put up something new. So look out for those December readings this week, this upcoming week, and yeah, the new setting. That was a teaser. Working through disbelief, imaginative lips, fresh perspective. fresh perspective through impossible things. Yeah, that's, I'm gonna find it in the book to read a bit more of a divinatory meaning, but essentially it's what we're talking about, right? So you're starting to see with this full moon in Gemini, why certain things seem impossible to you, why you were not considering them, why you were afraid to go for something, right? You're starting to see why. That's the big one. A struggle to accept what seems unlikely. Devote regular time to improving a situation. Becoming better at something you care about or changing something for the better. Meditate on a miracle and believe in impossible things. And I'm just gonna add from myself and from Spirit that you won't have to search for it. Like, what is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm supposed to believe in? Spirit will show you what it is. And your task will be to be open to that, to believe, to support that with your energy. And of course, to go for it, to take action in that direction. What do we have for the masculines? Clock time, number 14. Time pressure in a rush. Masculines are feeling some time pressure. No pressure. I'm not reading the Alice's part today because I don't want this reading to get too long, but yeah, it has some fun part about like the actual storyline and the plot. Time of stress and added workload. Increased responsibility. Feeling it is too late to pursue your dreams, or pursue your feminine in this case. Feeling pushed to complete too many tasks. An inability to say no. Insufficient support. The urge to rush. This could be a time of dynamic opportunity, but you must take charge of your own workload and do what must be done. It is time for one last push. Again, you see the synchronicity. This is also believing in miracles and believing that you can do it. It's almost like that 9 of Wands energy of somebody who's tired, who's been going on for such a long time, and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can take it to the finish line, but it's just, you're so close, divine masculines, with whatever it is you're pursuing. Keep believing, keep pushing through. If you have too much on your plate, if you're feeling pressure from a lot of sides, I'm just gonna add that you may see with this full moon in Gemini what is real, what is worth rushing for, pushing for, making effort for, and what is not really what is not a good use of your time and effort. What needs to be left behind. And it's been burdensome. It's hard to push through it or to kind of keep going with it because it's not really for you, right? So that's what you're gonna see with this full moon in Gemini. Okay, let's move on with tarot now. So look at the energies at this time for each of the twins, what's happening. Then there will be additional question, what do we need to know? What's the theme for this and how does it manifest for each of the twins? And like basically what's the theme, what can you get out of it, right? Like on the other side, not what is happening right now, but what is the possible outcome, the best outcome on the other side, what to anticipate, and like why is it worth it. And then the third one is going to be more the connection side, right? How this full moon impacting the dynamic in the connection and how the twins seeing each other. It's pretty similar to our usual. Wow, that jumped out quickly. To our usual spread, but a little bit different intention behind it. Alrighty, so we have feminine, masculine, additional theme, and how the twins feeling towards each other. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Cups. Time of rejoicing, right? For those of you who are in States, maybe you've been celebrating Thanksgiving and you're all in this joyful energy. Good for you guys, by the way, if that's the case. If not, then you're already getting into the festive mood for Christmas and New Year's. And Spirit is saying, if you aren't in that energy, you should get into that energy. You've worked so hard. And now it's time to, wow, that kind of swirled in my hand. It's time at least to make a pause. If you're not a celebration kind of person, right? It doesn't have to be like a party. It doesn't have to involve a lot of people, right? Like it can mean whatever it means to you. It does have other people in 3 of Cups. So that's the anticipation, but you know, whatever it is for you, whatever celebration means for you, And if you're not in that energy yet, it's time to take a pause and do something nice or fun for yourself and acknowledge how far you've come. If you want to do this year-end summary, that could be one. I think I'm going to do that this year for sure, because it's been a wild ride with spending a lot of time in Hawaii, and then, well, not just spending, but traveling around it like crazy, and then traveling around North America, and then making moves in my career and occupation, meeting new people, like looking at a lot of topics in a very different light. Like, it's been a wild ride for sure. And here we have 3 of Wands. Yeah, you see, and once you acknowledge how far you've come on this journey, it helps you manifest next steps with ease. So it's not coming from a place of like, oof, I still have so much to accomplish, right? That, not from that pressure, but it comes from a place of like, ooh, I'm doing great and I've learned so much on this journey. I'm excited for what the next chapter is, right? It's a much easier manifestation plan than the first example I gave you. And the full moon is about cleansing and releasing. So this is like, that's why it's about that summary, about recognition, right? And of course, you're going to be setting yourself up for the new moon in Sag. It's coming in the middle of December, and it's going to be a lot easier for you to use that optimistic and ambitious energy to make big plans, to have those cherished dreams, like to actually start taking steps towards them. Right now, it's about changing your mindset, like cleansing anything that's not in alliance, I wanted to say, whatever, with that plan, right? And preparing for that. Okay, feminines, your energy right now. Page of Wands clarified by the Justice. Yeah, feminines are seeing, I was just explaining actually about this energy, this new energy of opportunity, of going for what you want, of understanding what you want, right? In a balanced way, in a mutually beneficial way. Most likely with regards to somebody else. If you have a twin or soulmate in your life that you're seeing as a life partners, that you're considering building your destiny with, right? This is the one that you have now to like start putting some detail into that plan. And I know usually we say that don't have specific expectations, but this is actually you sending the message to the universe of how you want that to play out. Like, how do you see that? What's important for you? Maybe having family dinners together, right? Like that both of you make time for it, and that's going to be very important for you. Or for each of you to have time for yourself every day, right? Or I don't know, to be physically active, like whatever that is. So like to visit family from time to time or something, right? Or travel together at least a couple of times a year, like whatever that is. Like it starts building that list, whether you have someone specific or not. It's helpful because it will help attract that energy, essentially, right? For the masculines, we have King of Swords clarified by 10 of Pentacles. Very serious energy of somebody who means business. Like, it's the person, this is actually very much a Gemini energy. It's an air energy, general air sign energy. But to me, it immediately responds to the Gemini vibe that we're in with this full moon, right? So the masculines is tapping into their analytical zone, and they're making strategies for the abundance in the future. There's also, like, there's still, even though this is after tarot, there's still people, like elderly people here. There's a child, there's a pet, right? Like, they are seeing how they want to take care of close people around them, or the future family, the current family, right? Like, how do I provide for them? What is my part in their life, right? And it doesn't have to be just money. It's any kind of resource, time, energy, anything else in the material realm, right? Like, how do I maybe make time for all these people that I care about? Or maybe I don't need to make time for all of them, right? Like, it's a very down to earth, very sensible approach to, like, how do you want to distribute the resources that you have? And the King of Swords kind of like knows, that's the communication part. And remember, for masculines, we actually saw in one of the latest readings that they were working on their communication skills, conversation skills. And this is immediately relevant to that. It's about how do I build my communication, my relationship with close people so that this is abundant and this is balanced and it's happy for all involved, right? It's not just me benefiting, and it's also not just them and I'm like crying in the corner, so to speak, right? Like it's supposed to be joyful and balanced for everybody. A bit of a synchronicity with this justice energy. Justice energy is also an air energy, by the way, which we just saw for the feminines. Additional theme, what would we have the theme of this full moon? Nine of Wands, I was just talking about it, clarified by Eight of Wands. And again, and this is communication, right? This is the tired person that's been around, that's been on this journey, been doing the noble fight for such a long time. Like they don't know how much longer they can keep doing it, right? And they want some signs, some communication on the topic, like what is the next step? Where do I go from here? How do I know that I've reached my goal, right? Like it keeps changing on me. Like I feel like I'm taking a turn into the right direction and it feels good, and then suddenly the setting changes. Suddenly I'm not in the forest anymore, I'm by the seashore, right? And I'm trying to figure out my way again, right? And this happens over and over and over again. There's no one clear journey. It keeps changing on me, right? So I need more information, I need a sign. For feminines, we have, wow, two major arcanas, Justice, one more time, and the Star. Oof, this is like double air energy, because this is Libra and this is Aquarius. Essentially, divine feminines are getting a lot of divine support in understanding what is the next phase of mission and who needs to be around for that, right? Like what kind of partnerships are supposed to be there? How do you collaborate, or how do you interact with other people, including clients, including, I don't know, sponsors, whoever, right? Even yourself. But Libra is still like Libra energy, Justice energy is still more about other people. There's more of the social energy, right? The same with Aquarius, this is Star, right? Like this is like the goodness of everyone, right? We're helping mankind. How do we do that exactly? So there's gonna be a lot more clarity on that. So seeing the bigger picture, first of all, right? Like this is the card where you can say you can see forest for the trees, right? Like you're too much in the depths, in the weeds here. You're gonna see divine feminines, you're gonna see the bigger picture, gonna kind of float above it, so you can see why certain things that didn't seem logical or didn't seem positive needed to happen in your life to get you where you are and to show you, to prepare you for this new phase in mission, in life purpose, in, well, whatever that next turn is, really. This is a collective reading, so keep in mind that yeah, I can only go into that much detail. For the masculines, we have the moon clarified by the moon. I mean, seriously, you can't make it up. If somebody was asking if the moon is important, if it's really about the moon, this is moon clarified by the moon. Divine masculines. So anyways, the moon is a Piscean energy. It's water, it's watery stuff, but it's remember we also spoke about connection between emotional state and abundance, and that was also for the masculines actually in one of my latest readings. So this is like this next level, and again, this is a major arcanas, same card really. This is like double divine power that's showing you how your emotions are really driving your life on all and every level. If you were a disbeliever before, it's gonna be so much in your face right now that you won't be able to miss it, even if you tried. Like if you stay at home, close your eyes and ears, it's still gonna hit you. Someone or something is gonna come to you and knock on your door and talk to you and like get the message across to you, right? You will see, again, similarly to feminines, why certain events had to happen in your life, how they impacted you, why you act the way you act right now, like how is it connected to your feelings and emotions. Certain experiences that you've been suppressing or your brain has been suppressing for you are going to be coming onto the surface, right? Maybe you'll come across a book or a movie or an article or just a conversation that you'll overhear, and something will like tick over there, like in your head, and you'll be like, oh wow, yeah, I guess that's relevant. And even if you don't know why, like stay with it, take notes, right? Like be curious, right? Allow for that information to come to the surface. This moon energy is definitely going to support that big time, especially if you've been looking for answers. This is the time of answers. How the feminine see the connection at this time? 3 of Wands clarified by 7 of Wands. Yeah, that there's still a long way to go, but I'm glad that actually 3 of Wands was... Oh, this was the bottom of the deck. This is like, they know that they've done a lot for this. They had to defend their position on the path to this union, even to themselves, right? And right now they know there isn't much to do, right? So it's almost like a time of either silence or kind of a plateau in the dynamic, but they know that it just seems like it's quiet, or that it's like nothing is happening. A lot is happening behind the scenes, and they're allowing for those events to flow through and to impact both of the twins in the way that like they can sense the divine guidance. That's what's needed right now, to let the things be. Masculines, the Lovers clarified by Knight of Pentacles. Different energy. This is Gemini, by the way. Right? Like again, we had double moon, we have Gemini. Just saying. And the King of Wands was also the Gemini energy. King of Swords, sorry. So masculines are definitely seeing that this connection gives so many opportunities, but it also hasn't really, like, they almost missed it for what it is, because it's been developing so slowly, kind of like ran past them, like they didn't even notice, right? It's almost like they're looking at it from a distance now, and maybe there is that time of silence, or just for a second they can put their work aside for a moment and have a moment to themselves to like feel through things, right? We saw that emotional wave with the moon energy that's gonna really, like, when we dive into that energy, we get a lot more connected with our heart center, right? And that's when you can't really deny this connection, right? It's kind of like put you right in front of it, right? Like you're gonna feel through it, like it's gonna almost like stab you with that sharpness, right? And you'll be like, wow, I didn't even know how important it was, or like I could feel that it was impacting me a lot emotionally, but I didn't really know why, because it was moving so slowly, because it seemed like there was no drama. Well, there was no drama, and like it wasn't a big deal. Like it was a person in my life, right? Yeah, I cared about them, they were interesting to me, I was somewhat excited, right? But I didn't really know what kind of role they played in my life. So this is coming to the surface now, right? This role of showing love. And it's not just the baseline romantic love, boyfriend, girlfriend. No, this is a lot deeper. This is understanding love with a capital L, the unconditional love, the different roles, right? And again, you can, like, masculines will start thinking about friendship level, nurturing, kind of like motherly, sonly relationship, like gender, how it resonates, masculine, feminine interaction level, right? Partnership in something creative, or maybe in business, right? Like all these different sides of it that can manifest love, capital L, right? Like taking it to a completely different level from what masculines thought of it before, or how they limited it, or how they limited their interaction with the feminine energy and what it can do, right? Or it can be only one thing at a time. And now seeing that there's a person that can be all of those things at once, and it's crazy. Yeah, it is energy that's gonna take time to process with this Knight of Pentacles, but the realization that's gonna be big at this time, right? Obviously it's gonna get integrated into the reality with time. It's gonna, again, take a bit of time, but it's a huge step forward. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for being with me today. I love you guys, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Happy full moon!